time for this intro here.
No.
Let's go.
We're going to jump right into a very hot topic that we've been
arguing
upon
about.
5 minutes
Jay
ago.
and Jason are lost in the soup. We'll get to that.
But first,
yeah, sorry.
Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And I want to start the show today with an official declaration. We are now officially on Deshaun Watson watch. The decision could literally come in any second. It doesn't mean it's going to come today. It doesn't mean, but we are officially, because I thought when the briefs said the July 11th deadline, we all kind of figured she was going to take a week, chew on the briefs. But it's been a week. It's July 18th. So we've got 5 people hitting refresh on the internet pages nonstop.
Yes.
So as soon as it's out there, you'll hear it here 2 seconds later.
I saw
Welcome
they put
to
up
the
odds
program.
yesterday, by the way.
What's that?
They put up somebody put up odds yesterday of who's going to break the story.
I saw that, yeah. We're not discussing that today, though, are we, McNuggets?
No,
we are not. But just so everyone knows, as soon as the Deshaun Watson decision does come down, we will be hopping on the UCSS YouTube channel to break it down from
and that means if
every
it's
angle
3 o'clock in the
possible.
afternoon.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 o'clock at night. It does not matter. We will get as many of us on as humanly possible through some form or fashion, and we will break it down on YouTube just like we did for the Baker Mayfield trade.
Yes.
Do not miss it if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel.
And we'll send out
Subscribe
notifications,
right?
right?
Yeah, it's set on notifications. That's why you have to subscribe.
That's another good reason to go to the YouTube page and hit subscribe. If this news comes down at 3 o'clock, the only way you're going to know that we're on the air talking about it is if you subscribe to the YouTube page. Once you subscribe, you'll get that notification whenever we are going live.
You must hit the notification bell.
Yes, you're right. Yes, subscribe, and notifications. All right, everybody have a good weekend?
Great.
Everybody ready to go?
Let's fight.
So we start at the beginning of when the show started.
Yeah.
At least in its paper form. We were supposed to talk about any new thoughts about the news that broke late Friday. You weren't here Friday, were you?
No.
Do you have any thoughts on the news that broke? Because the consensus was originally, the way we read it, the start of it, we're like, whoa, this is big. And then came the bombshell at the end that all 4 of the cases against Watson will still go forward. Does this change anything to you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that's what we all said.
No, the Texans want it out of this as fast as possible.
Yeah.
They settle, they get their name out of it. Busby gets what he wants out of it. This was his point all along, was he's trying to get money.
Is Busby winning the chess game right now?
Oh, for sure.
I feel like he is totally winning the game.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
He got the Texans to write a check. How big? No one knows.
And I'm still not convinced that these 4 cases go to trial. 1 or 2 may. I don't.
No,
think
it's
all 4.
pressure to get them to
Yeah,
settle.
I don't think all 4 of these are going to trial.
All right. So then, while we're talking about that, we were going to go to the fact that there's a new report out that if Deshaun Watson is suspended, he would miss training camp indefinitely. And then that led us to Mary Kay's report over the weekend that the Browns are still in the market for a backup quarterback. Now, I don't think that surprises anybody because if it's a long suspension.
You only got 2.
And apparently it says that Josh Dobbs is not the backup should anything happen to Jacoby if it's a long-term situation.
Right. Well, I mean,
that doesn't surprise anybody.
No, but I mean, let's put parameters on this. What's long-term? 6 to 8 games.
I think anything over 10.
Yeah, I mean,
Guys, not to cut you off, Jason, but I don't give a crap. We got to get into this argument. I'm shutting you guys all up.
I was going to segue from that because it is part and parcel, kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
When the Browns made this move, they made this move to have Deshaun Watson on the field for the bulk of this year.
Yeah.
Or likely it wouldn't have been done. They gave up 3 first-round draft picks. They didn't do that. So, we'll be good in 2023. The clock is ticking. All these other contracts are still going. So the question was, do you still do this trade today if it ends up that Deshaun Watson sits half the season or more? Giving up 3 first-round draft picks, still going all in on Deshaun Watson, knowing that he could miss half the year.
Of course you do, guys. Of course you do. Listen,
there's a huge difference in half the year and a whole year. There's a huge difference.
In the long run, it doesn't matter. The team couldn't win a Super Bowl, in my opinion, with Baker Mayfield, and I think most opinions, especially in this new AFC, which is loaded with great quarterbacks like we haven't seen
in the Browns' opinion, they couldn't. Or they wouldn't have done this deal.
Exactly. So in the Browns' opinion, agrees with my opinion. It's about time they smartened up.
No, it doesn't. No, they don't. And I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
Because if the Browns were concerned about, if they weren't concerned about a year-long suspension, they would have pursued him before the grand jury came back. They were waiting for a no bill to come back because they were afraid he was going to go on the commissioner's exempt list, which would rule him out for a year.
Fine.
They were waiting for that
Jason,
to be set aside before pursuing him.
In the end, it doesn't matter. He gives them a chance to win a Super Bowl. Yes, in theory, if they knew he was going to be suspended for a year, maybe you could have gotten a little less. But 4 or 5 years from now, if once he gets on the field, whether it's week 5, week 9, week 7, or not till next year, if he plays great here, if they go deep in the playoffs here, if they win the Super Bowl here, you could have given up 15 first-round picks. It's irrelevant. Here's the bottom line. They believe, I believe, G believes, Brad believes, I think you believe, I'm not sure about Jay, believe that the Browns couldn't win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield.
Yes,
Fair?
yes.
They can win a Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson.
Fair,
Fair?
yes.
So then nothing else matters.
No,
to me.
it does matter.
Nothing else matters.
You're giving up 3 number 1 picks for a dude who's not
So
going to be on
what?
the field this
Half
year.
the number 1 picks do nothing in the NFL.
If he's out the year and you're 6-11, that pick looks a whole lot more valuable than it would have because you thought you were going to have
So
him
it's
for
going
half
to be
the year
some
of
random linebacker who's not that
Listen,
good. Who cares?
I'll go back to what I said before. If they didn't
11
care
picks.
about him missing the year, they would have made the trade regardless of commissioner's exempt list. They didn't. They waited for that to be taken off the
I
table
agree with
before
you,
they
but in the end,
pursued
it
him.
doesn't
So
matter.
that tells
You
you
got him.
that they would not have made this trade if they knew he was out for the year. They would not have made it.
They would have made it differently.
As it is
they would have made it
constructed.
differently. They still would have made it.
I sit here.
Probably.
Well, that's what we're arguing. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
it doesn't matter,
You
though,
wouldn't
is
make
what
the
I'm saying.
same trade, Bull. You wouldn't give up 3 first-round draft
But
picks.
I'm not going to care. In the end, and nobody else is going to care. Do they win long-term with Watson is all that matters.
Let me jump
Go
in
ahead.
here, right? Because I understand what you're saying. I understand
Yeah.
my man Bull's saying, but let me just tell you something, right? I don't, even if he sits out a year, right? The Browns have played the long game, right? The long game, because do we want him this year? We obviously want him this year to help us, right? Because the team is stacked. We have a window of opportunity. If he has to sit out a year, it's an unforeseen incident, but I don't
Is it
think-
unforeseen?
Yes,
They knew
it's
about it.
because you're playing the dice game here. You don't know how this thing's going to end. Let me just tell you something.
It's not completely unforeseen, Brad. They knew what was on the table.
Here, I told you before the show that we about to get this thing lit. This thing about to get lit, right? Because let me tell you as a player, the Browns have an abundance of talent. They need somebody to thought to get them over the hump.
Right.
Ain't nobody coming to Cleveland.
All those players will be a year older.
Ain't nobody coming to Cleveland.
Nobody? Did Miles Garrett come?
That was the draft. I'm talking
Did-
about.
right.
I'm
Did
talking
Nick
about,
Chubb come?
No, I'm talking. No, get off the draft, people.
No,
Get off the draft,
you're
people.
saying
Get off
but,
the
but
draft,
Brad,
people.
You think that you can only build a great team through
No,
free agency? That's just not true.
When you need pieces, Jay.
You draft
when
pieces.
When you need pieces,
You draft
You
pieces.
draft pieces, but when you need additional pieces, you have to go to the market to get these pieces.
And overpay
right?
more than double what the old high guarantee was?
We're in Cleveland.
So? That doesn't matter.
Who's walked through here in Cleveland?
Brad,
who's walked through here?
Brad, you're missing the
Who's
point.
walked through here in their prime, Jay?
Brad, you're
Nobody.
missing the point. Wait, Nick Chubb isn't in his prime?
He got drafted here.
Okay, so you're making my point.
No, I said
they can't draft a quarterback. Great quarterbacks have never been drafted.
Jay, I need you to hear me.
No, I
the
need you to
Browns
hear
haven't
me.
drafted
I
a
need you
great
to hear me.
quarterback.
Great quarterbacks have never been drafted.
I need you to hear me.
Okay, so that means that one will never be drafted in Cleveland.
So you got to take the track record.
How many quarterbacks has Andrew Berry drafted?
Why am I sitting here talking about draft picks like it's so guaranteed? You ain't drafted not one playmaker. You've never drafted a receiver. Hold on.
You didn't draft Nick Chubb. He's not a playmaker.
I said receiver.
I'm waiting for.
No, you said playmaker.
I receiver. You don't.
No, you said playmaker.
Listen, you can't get. You haven't drafted. You haven't.
Thank you, Jason.
You have not drafted impact type guys at receiver. You've never had a quarterback.
Wait a minute.
Hold
when
on.
you say never,
You've never.
You can't say never because John Dorsey isn't here anymore.
What I'm
Who's
saying,
the general manager right now?
I'm talking track record.
So
of
you
the
don't believe
organization.
Andrew Berry can draft anybody?
Listen, he made the decision.
You?
Hey, no, hold on. Before we
Go ahead. Yeah.
we're not about to jump over back and forth. We're gonna get to this point. You ain't never had a quarterback.
Get it lit.
Y'all sitting around here trying to act like you had one, and now let's
nobody
hold
acted
on.
like they had
Let's change the rules. If we don't go to the Super Bowl, it was all for naught. No, you ain't.
Yeah.
Hold on, you ain't never been to a Super Bowl. So if you get to one, that means you did something. You can't say Baker Mayfield should have stayed for a divisional round.
That's a huge if.
But
you're saying if. You're moving the game piece to final.
But who are they going to draft, Jay? In this draft, there was no good quarterback.
draft no
What are you
quarterback.
going to wait for get a
Hold
quarterback?
on. So you guys you're saying you've never done it. You've never done it. You can't draft it.
I'm not on the draft.
Do you believe who's our general manager right now?
Tell me.
Who
Just
is
tell me this one thing, and I'll leave it alone. What free agent in his prime has walked through the door here in Cleveland?
Andre Rison.
Boom!
That's 30 years
By the
ago.
way,
Get off my man, Bad Boom.
Brad, the reason I dismiss your argument right away at jump is because you're operating under the premise that great teams are all built through free agency.
No, they're not.
And
It's
they're
a
not.
combination of
It's
everything.
three ways you
Of
can get
course it
players.
is.
So here,
It's three ways.
When
So-
LeBron James was here.
Yes. Well, now you're going to a different sport.
Hold
You're
on.
apples and oranges.
No, because it applies across the board.
Go ahead.
All right?
Go ahead.
I'm a longtime Clevelander.
Go ahead.
It's across the board. LeBron James and the Cavaliers had a window. It looked like it was going to be a long run here, right?
Sure, did.
Still nobody wanted to walk through the door to help them.
When he came back, he
Who wa-
wasn't a free agent.
Who wanted to walk?
Is Kevin Love ever in Cleveland without LeBron James?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
Thank
something.
you.
I'm not saying
So I'm
Kevin Love
answering
was
your question.
hold on. I'm not saying Kevin Love was no cream of the crop, top dude, right? I'm talking about top dude.
Kevin was.
No, top dude. Just listen to me. This is not disparaging Kevin. Jay, I've been around top dudes.
Yeah.
He not one of them.
Kevin
All right?
Love
He
at
ain't
the
one of
time.
them. He ain't
Jason,
one of them.
I'll defer to you on this.
He's not one of
Jason,
them.
remind Brad where Kevin Love
guys,
was when
he
came
wasn't
to
a
Cleveland.
top 5 player in the league, but he was a star. He was a
Jason,
star.
It's a
I
bona fide
played with
star.
5 of the top 75. Don't talk to me about that.
I just said
5
he's
of the top
not.
75.
He wasn't top 5 in the league.
I'm not saying he was a bad dude. He's just not that guy.
But you know what? You both are wrong on this argument.
Tell us why we're wrong.
Because you're talking about quarterback, the most important position on the field, that these guys don't ever become available. So no one is going to walk
Right,
through the
and
door.
nobody was.
No.
And who are you
And
drafting
can't
at
draft
quarterback?
one. You can't draft one where they were drafting. There was none available to draft, and this team isn't built to wait for 2 or 3 years on a quarterback
Right.
to come.
Agree.
I'm not-
We're
on
arguing-
all of
this
this.
argument has taken us off track. The fact whether
I'm
you
not
can draft the quarterback or
disagreeing
not
with
is
the fact to
irrelevant.
pursue Deshaun, even if he's out for the year. I'm
Yeah.
saying the compensation package would have looked far different if they'd have known he was going to miss this entire year. That's
Well,
my point.
You're right. I don't disagree with that. However, in the end, if he wins here, if he plays to his capabilities, which is far a million times better than any quarterback the Browns have ever had, then it's irrelevant if you gave up too many draft
How
picks.
can we argue for 20 minutes and all agree? Because we're all agreeing.
Yeah, and that's
at
how
the
it
end,
goes.
like
Doesn't
we're
matter.
kind of agreeing.
Right?
A million times better than any quarterback the Browns have ever had.
Yes.
Of the last 20,
Yes.
let's
you co-sign that?
Yes.
1 million times better than any quarterback the Browns have
They have
ever
had some
had.
pretty good quarterbacks.
Do not send
See,
me back
it's-
to autogram.
You can't-
Do not send me back to the
I won't.
black
I
and
won't.
white days. What we doing?
I'll just take the last quarterback. You're saying that he's a million times better
Million
than
times
Baker
better.
Mayfield.
Yes.
Baker's a guy.
Gee, Bush.
Baker's a
I
guy.
don't ever expect you to jump into that kind of hyperbole.
Listen, the hyperbole
Is he better? Of course.
Here's
Is he twice as good?
Yes,
Yes.
5 times
Their
as good.
win-loss records are identical.
It's irrelevant.
Oh, it is.
It's
I thought
irrelevant.
football games were played
because it's
to
not enough of a
win the
sample.
game.
Jay, it's not enough of a sample size.
on.
He
No.
took a bad team to the
A
playoffs
million
2 out
times
of 3
better, and
years.
G. Bush
But,
co-signed.
hey,
I can
hold
clip
on.
that.
Did
Hold on.
this-
Yes.
1
Jay,
million times
Jay,
better.
did Deshaun Watson take a bad roster to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years?
His win-loss record for the career
Jay,
is the
just,
same as
just
Baker's.
answer the question. Did he take a bad team, a bad roster to the playoffs 2 out of 3
he
years?
had a premier wide receiver.
By the way,
What else did he have?
What
else did he
How
have?
many playoff games has he won?
listen.
One.
How many playoff games has Baker Mayfield
Can I
won?
speak-
One.
But your guy's a million times
Million
better than
times
my guy.
better. Yes.
Can
It's
I-
not even close.
Can I speak to the?
So,
can I speak
The
to the
wow is that you
Here,
think
can
he's
we-
not a
Hey,
million
Steve,
times better.
Hold on.
Steve, we need to focus in on Bull's shirt right
Yeah,
now.
this is it.
Can we-
Focus in on
can
my
we
shirt.
Focus in on that.
This is what I say to
We'll
Jay.
focus in on the shirt, and then G.
Jason.
Bush has a point to
Hey,
make. G.
1
Bush is dying to
million
hop
times.
in here.
We gotta
Can't argue with dudes like that.
Well,
Yeah, wait
we
a second.
can't-
Let me
well,
just
we
look at
can't
my shirt
argue.
here,
We
G.
can't argue. Period.
It's okay if you disagree with me. I can't force you to be right.
All right,
Let's go.
Here we go. We can't argue.
You're right.
We can't argue if y'all two is now, Brad. What we got? You got something?
Yeah, this is what I was gonna say. I'm speaking for the Cleveland fan. I just want to go to the Super Bowl. That's all I want to do.
That's all I want,
That's
too.
all I want to do.
That's all I
don't
want.
care how we get there.
That's all I
Who
want.
gives you a better chance to win the Super Bowl?
I've tried it the other way. We went to the draft, begging people to come to town. This thing don't work.
I'm surprised. I'm really
I'm running out of
surprised at
time,
both of
Jay.
you on one
Running
point.
out of time.
I'm surprised at you on one point.
What's that?
I have complete and total faith in Andrew Berry. And I will tell you that when the whole world was singing that Dorsey was the guy and we finally got our guy, I was still looking at this and saying, there's a lot about it I don't like. There's still a lot about John Dorsey's methodology I don't like. Andrew Berry, I am 1,000% in on Andrew Berry. And to be honest, even though I wouldn't have made that deal, I would not have made the Deshaun Watson deal because I was more of the Kevin Stefanski mindset. I didn't think it had to be made. I didn't. You guys disagree. But on the Andrew Berry front, what put me over the edge being okay with it is I ultimately trust Andrew Berry.
And so do we. So what's the problem?
But you don't if you're
Yes.
sitting here saying that This is the only deal he
I
could
didn't
have
say
made?
that. I didn't say that.
Brad said.
I didn't say that.
Brad, here's what you said.
Yeah.
No.
You said that ain't no one walking through that door.
That's true.
But
Now,
what? But Jay,
you
there was
don't
no
know
other
what
option.
Andrew
What was the
Berry-
other option?
Andrew Berry couldn't have figured something out
no,
other than completely. Jason, correct me if I'm wrong here.
We're giving you a historical.
There were no good
Nobody's
quarterbacks
coming
in the
to
draft.
door here, bro.
Changed the pay scale in the forever.
Can
in
I,
the
can, I,
NFL.
can I talk about this? Can
Did
I talk,
he, Jason?
Can I talk about this?
Well, you can interrupt me, but yeah.
Hey, the pay scale.
Don't be surprised
Why,
if I
I don't
interrupt
understand.
you.
He didn't change the pay scale. He changed the guaranteed pay scale.
Why does that
Which is
matter?
the
We
pay
don't know
scale.
if it's changed or not.
Why does that
We're not
matter,
going to know
though?
that for another couple
Patrick
of years.
Mahomes is going to make more money than Watson on this contract.
Here's what's going to happen ultimately. I read you guys some numbers about Miguel Cabrera. And the reason I dug
We're
these
going back
numbers
to
out is because
Miggy
we're
now.
going to talk
We're
about
going back
that
to
in a
Miggy
minute.
now.
Okay.
Well, here's why it's relevant. It's more relevant in football than in baseball because in baseball you can spend whatever you want. Okay? You can spend whatever you want. Not in football. In football you have to be fiscally responsible. There's a salary cap. When the Tigers
Have the
signed-
Rams been fiscally responsible?
Hold on.
Who?
The Rams.
We're going to let him get his money
Yes,
off.
I believe they have.
They
been.
have?
We've been under the cap.
Hold on. We can't switch it. Let him
So
get
the
his money off.
Browns have the most cap space in the NFL.
Keep continue.
You're
Please
right.
continue.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
They did. They don't anymore.
They still do.
They're ninth.
Please continue on.
Not on the list we saw today, but go ahead.
No, I think they're ninth in cap space currently.
Go ahead. He's got his facts.
You got your facts. Come on.
So the reason I dug these up for an argument
Yeah.
that we're going to debate, we're going to have later, that was baseball based. But when I was digging these numbers up, I thought, God, this really is maybe one of the best examples ever. And there are others in baseball that I know Jason and you'll know about, Bull. When the Tigers did Miguel Cabrera, they felt at the time that was a deal that was going to get them the World Series. It was going to win them a World Series. In 2016, they agreed to pay Miguel Cabrera $248 million for 8 years.
Okay.
It changed the pay scale in baseball. This is the equivalent to baseball. Because after that, the $30 million deals came fast and furious.
Okay.
And go look and see how many of those have led to World Series titles. But this is what I'm saying about be careful if you think you can spend your way to a title in any sport, particularly where there's a cap, like the NFL.
But the Rams just did it last year.
No, they didn't. They went out and they got the piece that
going.
they needed.
Yeah, a
Keep going.
quarterback.
Right.
Which
Keep
what the
going.
Browns
Right.
needed.
But
So, hold on.
they didn't change the contract.
When
They didn't change the
when
pay
he
scale in the
finished,
NFL.
Okay, go
when
ahead.
he finished, I'm not going to talk about the Rams. I'm going to talk about the Browns. Go ahead.
You talk about the Browns.
All right, go ahead.
When the Tigers did that, they were a relevant team. They were always fighting for a playoff spot. Since 16, they have finished last place 3 times, third place twice, second place once. They've never made the playoffs. Their combined record is 398 and 560.
Okay.
That's a collective 190 games out of first place.
Tigers-
Since they did a deal that changed the pay scale. Now, I'm not suggesting
Wasn't Albert
that
Pujols before that?
Albert Pujols' deal with the Angels is, or with the Angels is the second worst contract.
But wasn't that before Cabrera?
It was. It was
didn't
before
that change
Cabrera.
the pay scale?
No, because Cabrera's changed the pay scale.
Right.
When the Angels gave Pujols all that money, which I would say is probably the second worst contract in baseball history, and there are a lot of bad ones.
No, I would disagree.
But the
go
Angels,
ahead.
what have the Angels done? What have the Tigers done since they spent all that
Well, but
money
the
on one
Dodgers
guy?
spent a ton of money and they won the World Series.
One time they've had the highest payroll 5 times.
All right.
What do you mean they had the highest payroll 5 times? So,
5 times in baseball they've had the highest payroll.
but the lower payroll teams haven't won any World Series.
Now we're in the minutia. We're in the minutia and the weeds about
Yeah.
baseball payrolls.
Because there is no salary cap in baseball.
Here's your rebuttal.
Yeah.
This is your rebuttal.
Okay,
You say in one sentence you completely trust Andrew Berry,
I do.
except for when he goes and makes a trade.
No.
Hold on. What? Second of all, you tell me about the numbers. You're saying the numbers and these are bad contracts. Let me ask you a question. The person that was the most fiscally responsible person in the game was who? And who created Moneyball?
Billy
Moneyball's
Bean.
a farce. Don't bring up Moneyball.
No. Who? They got the guy who created Moneyball
Paul DePodesta.
in the front office
Yeah.
looking at the numbers.
Moneyball's a farce.
Well, it sounds convenient.
Jason, is Moneyball a farce?
It's convenient. It's convenient, but this is what we've been told. Listen, DePodesta is the Moneyball guy. He makes savvy deals. He goes and looks at the minutia of it. The Browns bring him in. You think he ain't looking at these contracts?
G. Bush, do you think if DePodesta told Jimmy Haslam, I'm not doing that deal, that they don't do it?
But he feels they feel. The thing is, what I'm saying is, they feel that it was a savvy move.
But no. We don't know who feels it was a savvy move.
But what is
What
the,
do you mean?
what is the difference?
G. Bush, we don't.
I don't.
How do you
Jay,
not know that? He's there.
Because have you entertained the idea that Jimmy Haslam was going to do this deal no matter what anybody else said?
So now we playing Wizards. We think that Jimmy.
I'm not playing Wizard. I'm just asking you, is that possible?
But it could be possible. But
How did they draft Johnny Manziel?
You have 3 people in the front office.
History tells us
Watch
how
this.
he was drafted.
Here's my problem with people that talk about the salary cap. These guys have Ivy League financial degrees. They got the Moneyball guy there. We sit here and talk about projecting the cap as if they don't have somebody full-time doing this.
They also have an owner who is desperate to win, who has screwed up the quarterback position since he owned the team and is willing to make a deal with the devil.
But what does Watson's contract? How does it hurt the Browns?
It doesn't.
How does it hurt the Browns?
If it was such a good idea to guarantee,
How does it hurt the Browns?
If it was such a good idea to guarantee that size contract,
But the guarantee, whatever.
why didn't they do it with Patrick Mahomes? Why didn't they do it with any of these other quarterbacks?
What's the difference? Like right now, how does it affect the cap?
Because if he has a significant injury,
Jason,
they're screwed.
Fine, you're right. Okay, that's what you're worried about.
Patrick Mahomes has an injury.
First of all,
he's already had one ACL.
First of all, you're arguing semantics because they're not like the basketball players that have guaranteed deals all through their years. They're getting the money up front is basically a guarantee.
Guys, wait a second. Hold on. Your complaint is that if he gets hurt, it's a disaster. What else is there? What else is there?
First of all, you're saying how could this trade hurt the Browns?
I'm waiting. I want to hear that.
So giving up 3 first-round draft picks usually is good or bad for a franchise?
It's irrelevant how many quarterbacks. You've got a star quarterback, Jay. That's all that matters.
If you're drafting,
that's all that matters.
Low in the first round.
Boy, you better hope he wins it because you are 90.
So hold on, Jay. If you're drafting low in the first round, right?
Yeah.
It's worth the risk to me.
It's irrelevant if they give up 3 first overall picks unless they're going to get another star quarterback.
It's never irrelevant when you're giving up first-round draft picks.
You're getting a star quarterback. You didn't trade it for a linebacker.
If I'm drafting 24th, 25th, 18th,
16,
and I'm not 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3 is different, right? But if I'm 24, 25, 19, it's worth the risk to me. Listen,
I'm glad you guys are
way.
fans and not actual owners.
No, listen.
Because Jason, to say that there's no ramifications, how can this be a bad deal? How can this be a bad deal? In other words,
give me an example besides getting hurt.
I've been trying to give you an example.
Give me one.
For one, you've given up 3 first-round draft picks. You're acting as if those don't matter.
It doesn't. If Deshaun Watson's great, it doesn't matter.
They matter.
So would you rather have? So you'd rather have those players than Deshaun Watson?
Here's what I would rather do.
Yeah.
I would rather talk about play the long game. I would rather be more conservative with one player's salary because if you're not thinking about injury, you haven't been paying attention.
That's always a possibility.
Okay.
So what do you say? You never want to pay a quarterback?
So bull.
Jay, wait, hold on.
Don't guarantee the money.
Are you saying you never want to pay a quarterback?
No, absolutely not.
So then the only concern is if he gets hurt.
Bull, what you're doing is, and this is what I had a problem with.
Yeah.
You blew up the pay structure. You blew it up. You
don't care
didn't just
about that.
barely sneak past the old contract.
And this is why
you did a deal that when the experts saw this deal, they all said the same thing.
And this is why.
Wait, that can't be right.
This is why players don't come to Cleveland because people like Jay are worried about the money.
I still don't understand.
You're right.
You're right.
That's why they're not coming.
That's why they're not coming because people hear things like that.
If Deshaun Watson is healthy and playing, isn't he making all the money he's going to make anyway if it was guaranteed or not?
Yes, probably.
Okay, so what's the problem unless he gets hurt? And then it's okay.
Why hasn't this contract ever been done before? Why didn't Patrick Mahomes get this deal?
He's the
Why
best
didn't
player
Tom
ever in
Brady
the
and
NFL.
Because
hold on. And
why didn't anyone else ever get this deal before?
You did not get this deal because nobody is coming here. The Haslam's had to make a decision.
Exactly.
That's what I said. They made a deal with the devil. So don't tell me it was a good deal. It was the deal they had to make to get their guy.
Thank you.
But you're arguing about whether the money should be guaranteed or not. We could all say, we could all in theory say, yes, they shouldn't have guaranteed it all, and still in the same vein say, thank God they have Deshaun Watson and not some Joe Schmo named Baker Mayfield.
Again, 60 years since a franchise quarterback became available. I've said it 100 times.
Exactly. You did what you had to do.
And they made the deal with the devil to get the guy. That doesn't make it a good deal. It makes it the deal that you had to do to get your guy.
How many teams have won Super Bowls with free agent quarterbacks?
They never. Hold on.
Matthew Stafford, they just won last year.
Hold on. Franchise quarterbacks.
So was Deshaun Watson a trade.
Franchise quarterbacks never come available.
Yeah.
That's a red herring.
They don't.
That's true.
That's a red herring.
Drew Brees. Drew Brees.
What I'm saying is, how many Super Bowl winners have there been?
Here, I
don't understand the
With no
question.
franchise quarterbacks?
I just gave you Matthew Stafford last year.
all I can tell
Matthew
you,
Stafford and Tom Brady
are
two of the they might be the only exceptions. I don't know. I haven't looked at the list. The quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls in the NFL have overwhelmingly been drafted by the team.
You just gave us the last 2 Super Bowl winners.
Yes, and what I'm saying is,
But Jay, great quarterbacks don't change
They don't
teams
change
very
teams.
often.
They sign them forever.
Joe
No.
Burrow?
He got drafted.
What do you mean?
Thank you. Thank you, G. Bush.
Is Joe Burrow going to become a free agent?
How are the
No.
But G. Bush, that's not my point.
He'll spend the prime of his career in Cincinnati.
Thank you.
Of course he will. But you guys just made my point.
We didn't make your
You're
point.
saying, you can't get a great quarterback anyway. You know, they don't
I
become
didn't
available.
say that. I never said that.
Is Joe Burrow a great quarterback?
I never said you can't get a quarterback through the draft.
He did.
Okay, fine, but I didn't say that. To me, that's irrelevant.
Is Joe
It's
Burrow
irrelevant.
a great quarterback?
Of course he is, Jay. I don't know what you're arguing with me about.
free agent.
I'm not saying you can't get one through the draft. The Browns haven't, and they couldn't this year.
So that means they never will in the future.
What was the best? I don't care about the future. I care about now.
Free agent acquisitions are no guarantee.
It's irrelevant.
Draft
It's
choices
irrelevant.
are no guarantee.
No.
If you don't believe me, Jordan was taken third behind Akeem Olajuwon and Sam Bowie.
Of course.
So go back and ask Portland now, and go ask Houston
About
if they had
draft
to do it
picks.
again. What would they do?
Well, that's silly.
You don't know.
No, if they can do it again now, but they have the benefits of the result.
Jay, who were you supposed to get?
Guarantees.
Who did you want to quarterback?
There's no guarantees here.
Jay,
you don't
what
know what you're getting.
So
who are you waiting for a quarterback? Who are you waiting for a quarterback? Jay, who did you want a quarterback?
Guys are losing it. I'm concerned.
Who did you want a quarterback?
Jay,
who did you want a quarterback?
If it was Deshaun, who did you want?
Remember,
Baker.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
He sounded like a Baker bro.
No, listen.
He's one of the bros.
I'm going to tell you. The last time we saw a healthy Baker Mayfield.
One of the bros.
I told you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish it.
Did they almost beat Kansas City?
Almost.
If
Every
the
game is almost.
Until Baker couldn't come over that.
Until Baker took
Jay accusing us. Wait a second. Jay accusing us of being pipe down. Jay accusing us of being a fan. He's like, we almost beat Kansas City. That's what all the pathetic fans say. We almost beat this team.
I can always tell when I make a point.
Right.
Bull's volume goes, whoa,
That's ridiculous.
Am I right?
Baker Mayfield is the most turnover-prone quarterback in the league. That's a fact.
Ever.
Since he got
In the last 4 years, yes, that's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact.
How many playoff games did he win?
1.
How many playoff games did your guy win?
1.
What's the regular season combined win percentage?
Jay, we can all point
It's
to
a
stats.
big body of work
okay,
now. It's not one season.
Who's got the better completion percentage? Who's thrown more touchdowns? Who's
Your
has less
guy.
picks?
Your guy.
Okay.
What has it led to?
So he's much better.
But he's won one
Here's-
playoff.
He's played 3 years.
Here, can we say
He's
this?
played 3 years,
Bull.
Jay. Jay.
No, he hasn't. He's played 4 years.
He
played
played
4 years.
6 games as a rookie. He played 6 games.
the
played
simple-
4
He's played 3 full
the
seasons.
simple-
And he's gone to the playoffs twice.
The simple fact is, and we'll just speak this very concisely.
Okay.
Listen, simple fact is, for 4 years, it was not Baker Mayfield who was the best part of this team. He was carried by the tertiary part.
Of course he was. Yeah.
You have to run a specific offense.
Absolutely.
Kevin Stefanski said, just run bootlegs. That's what, play ball control. You're not beating, Joe Burrow changed everything, and Jimmy Haslam, if you're watching, shout out to you. He reset the clock. It wasn't the people who getting money reset the clock. Joe Burrow reset the clock, because you know what he said? You know what he told you? Stop telling me about continuity. Don't tell me about your offensive line. Don't tell me you got to draft 6 linemen every single year. Don't tell me you got to have everybody in a Hall of Fame or every position for a quarterback to be good. I'm going to show up off of ACL with no line, and I'm going to the Super Bowl.
3 great receivers
But
a running back.
But we don't like
and lose to Baker Mayfield 41-14 at home.
Super Bowl.
Facts.
Super Bowl.
What matters?
Facts.
That one game or going to the Super Bowl? What's more important?
If you want to compare apples to apples,
Yes.
direct apples to direct apples.
Yeah.
The only way to
That's
really
not
do
direct
that,
apples to direct
look,
apples.
it's one team versus another team.
Yeah, but you're not playing against the same
Come on.
defense,
It's
Jay.
one team.
You're not playing
Jay,
against the
Jay,
same
you know
defense.
that. You know
not,
that. Jay,
but
you
it's
know
one-
that.
Okay,
So
so
what
on
you're
that day,
telling me
Baker was
is-
better. Congratulations.
Yes, but here's what you guys
Yeah.
are missing because
That Baker's not good.
Your head is in the clouds.
Baker's not good. No, your head's in the clouds
When-
if you think Baker's
no.
good because you won a playoff game.
I'm not saying Baker's better than Deshaun. That's a silly argument. What I'm saying,
No, Baker's not good.
the
He's
Browns
not that good.
beat the team
I'm
that
with you,
went
Jason.
to the
I'm gonna
Super
check out.
Bowl
I'm-
from
all
the
right,
AFC.
take this.
So did the Chicago
Here.
Bears.
With Baker Mayfield.
So did the Chicago Bears with a rookie Justin
41.
Fields.
Take the
So
timeout.
So did the Chicago Bears
was
with
the
Justin
score?
Fields. I don't
moving
care. I don't
on.
know. It's irrelevant.
We're
It's
moving
one
on.
game, Jay.
We're moving on.
We are.
We got to get some other stuff, guys. This has
That's a
been.
Why do we got to get the other stuff?
We're moving
Who cares about
on.
the other stuff?
We're
wear
moving
today.
on.
Yeah.
You're
Moving
wearing
on.
the absolute perfect shirt.
We gotta go. We gotta go.